table full of melanite. If the body gon' shine, I don't need the ice. It's real tough. Yeah. Speaking on the times, cause my people need to see. Third eye blind, no, they lying through their teeth. They tryna loop the time, tryna keep us in a sleep. But you know we gotta rise like the steam in the heat. Quantum physics to a beat. How time zones lead. It matters just the data that your brain gon' see. Alchemy, you master all that photon light. Avatar, the body just a temple, do you see? The deities surround me, I put a peace. Breathe deep, I push chi like Bruce Lee. Yo, it's Dragon Ball Z. I'm Super Saiyan 3, and we finna walk them down. Any town, any street. New world on horizon, I can see the silver lining. Cause the sun gon' shine, then we all keep shining. Mighty lion can heal the pain, you know his name. But they stand on the same old thing. They playing, well let's talk about it. Round table full of melanite. Crystal body gon' shine, I don't need the ice. D and me, you gon' see it's rise. My people so divine, know it's our time. Let's talk about it.
Let's have the conversation.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Let's have the conversation.
I don't wanna hear that he say, that she say. You're listening to parasites on replay. They tap into my phone to listen like we on three-way. It's tap into your aura, feel the energy like heat waves. Let's talk about it. Who you praying to? When you start to lose your mind, who is saving you? If you're moving through the time, what's the energy that's moving you? I wanna have the conversation. We always dropping gems back and forth like great debating. We making our own way, our own land, our own pavement. Just suiting up the spaceship. I like to wake up with the sun. Say my daily mantra, speaking crypto, speaking tongues. Tell them what I'm after, we the one and get it done. I feel my enemies around me. 7 deadly sins, they tryna trap and keep me bounded. I'm not staying around, I get my people, then I'm outie. Yeah.
Round table full of melanite. Crystal body gon' shine, I don't need the ice. D and me, you gon'.
Greetings, and welcome to another episode of Let's Have the Conversation. How y'all doing?
Amazing. How are you?
I can't complain, y'all. I can't complain.
Grand.
Greetings to the committee. Hope everyone out there is doing well. We've missed you, although it was just Wednesday the other day, yesterday maybe even. Yeah. Anywho, right. Anywho, we have a great show for y'all. I hope you're ready. I'm gonna go ahead and kick it on over to Miss Charming T. What you got for us this evening?
So what I got today is we're going to be talking about the melatonin production, circadian rhythm, and all that fun stuff. But I believe we're supposed to do a commercial beforehand.
I was just going to say,
sponsor.
Charming, I'm so excited about that, but I can't wait to see these ads. So we have a word from our sponsor right now.
I mixed it up. My bad. Well, we have a word from our sponsors, you guys.
Whoever said that everything that glitters isn't gold never met goddesses.
Oh my God.
Whoever said that everything that glitters isn't gold never met goddesses. When my mind and heart feel led astray,
What the hell is happening? I don't know what's happening. It's something happening. Don't know.
Okay.
Let's just go to Charming, and then we'll run that after Charming. I'm having some sort of delay. It keeps kicking back out, so I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get into it. I went deeper than I expected to go with this. I thought I was going to be talking only about melatonin and the circadian rhythm. And I can't see any comments. So I would like to. So please get your papers and your pencils out, because we about to be talking about stress and sleep and hormones and all that stuff. And I feel like it's very important because, as we know, the deities, they govern our body parts, and the deities work
within each other to make our vessels function. And it's kind of like me just kind of digging within this, like just these small amounts of things that control our body allows for me to see physically how our body works in conjunction with each other to produce, our high functioning selves. So melatonin, we know what melatonin is because we probably see it in gummies for children and so on and so forth. So that melatonin is a synthetic melatonin. It's obviously made in the lab. It's not a real melatonin. Melatonin is produced in our brains through the pineal gland. It is produced in darkness. So when the lights go out, when the sun goes down, our brains start to produce melatonin, telling us it's time to relax and go to sleep. Melatonin helps to regulate the circadian rhythm. The circadian rhythm is basically a biological clock that shows you the general way in which your body is supposed to kind of function off of. Let me find a picture real quick. Or if one of my cousins in the panel want to find a picture for me, I would really love that to show the committee the circadian rhythm. So the circadian rhythm and melatonin helps to regulate the circadian rhythm, and it synchronizes the sleep, wake, night, day relationship that our body has or creates. So following along, everybody following along? I'm gonna check the comments real quick. Okay, so the circadian rhythm, like I was mentioning before, hold on. So the circadian rhythm is a behavioral changes that follow a 24-hour pattern. Yes, gratitude, Malika. Literally, so all of those follow a 24-hour pattern, and basically it allows for our body to work as the machine that it is in a productive manner. So again, the circadian rhythm responds to light and dark. Chronobiology is the study of circadian rhythms. I thought you guys might want to know that. And so moving forward, there's a lot here. So I told you I kind of went like, I'm like just trying to follow my own self. So bear with me. So the pineal gland, hold on, regulated by rhythm, generating system. So there's something called the suprachiasmatic nucleus that we have in our bodies, which keyword nucleus I think is very interesting. And it is inside of the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is like a little thing in our brains that basically reads light. Like it tells you whether your body is receiving light or receiving darkness. And so the hypothalamus helps to regulate melatonin production as well. So let me see. The hypothalamus is the crown chakra. I'm going to go into my computer now. So the point of the hypothalamus is to regulate our homeostasis in our bodies. Otherwise, it keeps the human body in constant steady state. So the real reason why I'm talking about this is to prove to you guys how important sleep is, and to kind of teach myself how important sleep is, and how important not being on our phones before we go to sleep, or not being subject to light from our computers or light from our TVs at all times of the day, and how it affects our bodies at a much greater rate than we could ever really imagine. So the suprachiasmatic nucleus is called the master clock. It's called the master clock because it regulates all of our biological clocks. One of the other ones, I can't remember what the other one was called. There's another like type of clock called that's in our body that regulates. So this nucleus is a group of 20,000 nerve cells. And committee, I would like for you guys to write this down so you can research your own stuff and start Googling your own stuff, because all this is a Google away from the thing before, for you to really understand and learn for yourself. So the master clock affects our hormones, it affects our eating habits, our sleep patterns, etc. So So I wanted to talk about blue light and how blue light blocks melatonin. Basically, they did a study on blue light, which comes from our phones. Blue light is literally LED light. So like this little light I have here, you could literally see that it's kind of blue, which is what we're kind of changing all of our lights to. Our friendly, our energy friendly lights are blue lights, but those lights suppress our pineal gland from creating melatonin, which helps our sleep pattern. So they basically tested green light versus blue light versus red lights, and blue lights boost attention, reaction times, and mood, but it's disruptive at night. So we're getting to the lesson part of this, and if you have trouble sleeping, Carbon, this is inspired by you. Quatita, this is inspired by you, because I get really concerned. Malika, this is inspired by you, because I know you be working, but in terms of like Carbon, I know that you have the insomnia where it's a consistent thing. So it's something that we gotta be very aware of, and we need to tackle. Like we have to have self-control over this portion of our lives, because as much as sleep is, sleep, like Kuchita says, dreaming is our real world. Dreaming is the real place where we should be. So we have all of these things that are around us that are stopping hormone production that makes our bodies function in the way that they should, So I wrote down a couple of tips to help with sleep patterns that are not your regular tips. So cherries are high in melatonin. Okay, before I go on, does anybody have any comments or questions or anything? Let's talk about it before I move on to this part.
I do, because I used to try to take melatonin, and it gave me really weird dreams. And not only that, I'm a researcher too, y'all, and I'm, Charmin. I'm not saying you didn't find what you have found today, but what I have found today when it comes to melatonin is that it's produced. We know it's produced by mammals, so a lot of it, from what I remember researching, was at that time was coming from like animals.
But yeah, that's if you take it externally. We're talking about melatonin production.
Oh,
brain.
okay, internally. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
But
not only that, I'm glad you brought that up, because I was going to actually bring up. I was like, okay, let's see if I have time for this, because it's so much. Phytomelatonin. Phytomelatonin is melatonin from plants, that is produced from plants, and it's said to actually be more beneficial for our bodies in terms of regulation of sleep and stuff like that. So, and I know about phytomelatonin because we have a product at the dispensary that has CBN, which is a cannabinoid that helps you go to sleep. So, there's another one it's a more natural resource that helps you put you in a REM sleep and keep you there. And then it includes phytomelatonin. So I did a little research with melatonin versus phytomelatonin, and that is something that is easily available on the market and easily available for you to research to see if it's beneficial. So anything else?
I have a question. How long does this keep you sleep is the question.
What is it?
You said the cannabinoid?
The CBN.
Yeah, the CBN.
The CBN. So another quick side lesson. CBN is the same thing as THC. It's just transformed. It turns into something else. when THC has been sitting for a really long time. So basically, a lot of the psychoactive properties of THC come out and it turns into CBN. It keeps you asleep for a regular amount of time, 7, 8 hours. People's history or experience with it is that it doesn't cause drowsiness when they wake up. If they got to go to the bathroom, they kind of get up, go, and they are able to go back down and go back to sleep and not stay up. And, you know, I deal with people who are old people who have been in war, people who have a lot of large medical history, you know, and lots of different people. And so a lot of people come for CBN because it helps them sleep without lots of side effects. They will come, they'll be like, my doctor prescribed me this, but I don't want to take it. So do you have any sleep medicine or sleep CBN? So yeah, if y'all got dispensaries in your area, and that's my suggestion as well, to give that a try. Look into that. Anything else? Okay, so I'm going to give a couple tips on how to help regulate sleep patterns, or just things that I found that was very just quick. I suggest you go and do more research on regulating sleep patterns. Another thing is cortisol is related to your sleep pattern. Cortisol is another hormone that is that controls your stress. So it's produced by the adrenal glands, and if you don't basically have your cortisol under stress, it also stops production of melatonin. So you could think that, oh, you have insomnia, but you have layers of stress and you know, melatonin can't even say the word right, melatonin production problems, you know. So I just want to throw that in there too, because I found that when I was looking into this. So cherries are high in melatonin, especially sour cherries like Montmorency variety. I don't know if I even spelled it right when I wrote it down. Yikes. Montmorency, I think, the variety. So cherries would be a good thing to add into your nighttime snacks, or, you know, your dinner, you know, to kind of get that melatonin going. Another thing is responding to, or having light that you can respond to. So in the daytime, try to get as much light in your house as in your space as possible. Try to be outside as much as possible in the daytime. At nighttime, try to have all the lights low as much as you can, because it's not going to work instantly. You know, you may be sitting in the dark and still may be wide awake, but it's not going to work instantly, because you have to train your body to produce the melatonin at the time that you're requesting it, or at the time it's supposed to be requested. So blue light blocking glasses, orange tinted lenses. So basically the orange tinted lenses helps to block blue light. So say, for instance, you're in big buildings all day long and you have lights at you or whatever, you can use orange tinted lenses. Sleeping with red lights. We can talk. Sleeping with red lights, they help to produce melatonin at nighttime. And they are, in a study, it was less likely to shift the circadian rhythm and suppress melatonin. So that's the reason for that. Avoid screens 2 to 3 hours before TV. Like I said before, bright light during the day. Waking up with the sun. So as much as we don't like to, you know, wake up with the sun, I say that in the song for a reason. It's important to wake up as closely with the sun as possible. You know, in winter, we wake up a little later because we're supposed to sleep in a little longer. You know, in summer, you're supposed to wake up at the crack of dawn when the sun is bright, and because we have a long day ahead of us. You know, you're supposed to have enough cortisol, which actually helps give you energy to last you throughout the day. You know, so yeah, phytomelatonin, that was another thing I brought up. And then my last thing, I'm going to just list herbs to help with the regulation of cortisol production. So these herbs will help you to help regulate your cortisol production, so you won't be stressed, and that will in terms help your melatonin production. So I'm almost done. So passion flower, lemon balm, ashwagandha, holy basil, rhodiola, which is also called golden root, Panax ginseng, which, let me look that up real quick because that was an interesting one that I looked up. I just looked it up and it said something interesting, and I think I exited out of the thing. Astragalus, I feel like I'm saying that wrong. Cordyceps, which is like a type of mushroom. Schisandra berry, reishi, which is a mushroom, and skullcap, which is like a mint-like herb. So that was just a short list of all those things that are a bunch of herbs that can help with cortisol production, which if you have too much of it, it can stop melatonin production. If you don't have enough of it, you're going to be sleepy all day. So yeah, something for you guys to think about and try to study and try to kind of become intentional about in your life. Because I know that sleep is something that can be put to the side quickly. We'll get to it when we get to it. But it is a very big part of functioning, and honestly, I feel like it's a big part of being connected to spirit. Like there's so many things that are going on in relation to your sleep wake cycle, and there's so many, like there's a thing called the hypothalamus pituitary axis, and there's a hypothalamus pituitary, like it's so much going on in there that it's important to be intentional about it. And this is the start, cortisol, melatonin, the circadian rhythm, all those glands and their spiritual properties of what they're supposed to do spiritually, stuff like that. So yeah. And that has been Class with Charming T.
Gratitude, Charming. I'm pretty sure, a lot of people are struggling with the whole sleep thing. So gratitude, breaking that all down and especially giving us remedies. Cause yeah. I've tried pretty much everything. So, but I've been dealing with more my life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It starts one step at a time, and making sure you stay true and consistent with what you're trying to heal.
Right. Very true.
Yes, Malika.
What's going on, Malika?
Are these herbs that you listed smokable? And if so, do they have the same effect?
I did not look that up. I'm sure some of them are. I'm sure some of them are. Like I think lemon balm might be, passion flower might be, but I didn't look. I'm not sure.
Gratitude. Chaz got me cracking up. Gratitude.
Chaz like, good question. That's too funny.
On my dress, and I was like, how long do you stay asleep? You know what I'm saying?
No. That's the thing with like, well, everybody's different. That's how I have to talk to I'm gonna treat you like my customer. Everybody's different. So when you interact with the CBD or the CBN in your body, your cannabinoid system has to, regulate it and figure it out. And so therefore, it may work for me in a different way that it works for you.
I try CBD.
Yeah, no, I definitely want to look at it. Oh, I didn't hear you, Chaz. What'd you say?
I said I've tried the CBD before. It didn't do anything for me. So.
No. You got to move to the next. I always tell people, you might want to add a little THC in there.
Yeah, I'm already there. So, hey, I'm a business.
I definitely want to try the CBN? I've never tried that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely want to try that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Okay.
Oh, look, that sound like an ancient Egyptian remedy for sleep. Soak blue lotus in wine for a couple hours.
All right.
I like that.
Right. It sounds mystic.
That makes sense.
You, Chaz. Let us know how that works.
That part.
Well,
no, but again,
y'all.
Yeah, gratitude, Charming. Gratitude. Well, we're getting ready to come up on the 30-minute mark. So let's go ahead and take a couple of sponsors. We're going to have a word from our sponsors, folks. Our lovely, lovely sponsors.
Whoever said that everything that glitters isn't gold never met goddesses. When my mind and heart feel led astray, or even on a gloomy day, when negative energies come my way, return to sender with one spray. With intention, I will mist, ensuring protection, peace, and bliss. From the north, south, east, and west, Goddessence makes me feel my best. Goddessence Calming Protection Mist, available now at www.grandrising.com. Powerful, captivating, indulgent, riveting. You hear the rumble of the earth. High councils, affirmations, oracle, and tarot deck. Available for pre-sale now, only on www.awalkwiththeancestors.com.
All right, y'all, we back. We back. I heard you, Carmen. We back.
Can I just tell you how stressed out I am right now? I am so stressed out. Like, goddamn Wi-Fi is driving me insane. The delays are crazy.
I know what it is.
Yes,
I already
it's not
know.
been an issue all damn day. As soon as we get ready to do the show.
I don't know if
But
you
that
heard me.
voice on that last ad was popping though.
Hey, get it, get it,
My
get
friend
it.
put all the sexiness into that. I was like, ooh.
She was getting it. She was
Girl,
getting
when
it.
she said riveting, I said, ooh.
Man. Okay, y'all. So for this next story, I can find it. Okay, so this happened out here in the California area, Santa Ana. I'm gonna play it for you.
Take a 1-week-old child into protective custody.
Hold on,
The mother says
y'all. Hold on. Of course, it don't want to act right because that would be too much like right. Here we go.
Into protective custody. The mother says the woman refused to give identification. That woman threatened to call the sheriff's department if she did not hand over the baby.
And I say, okay, if the sheriff had to come in, it's fine, but I'm gonna give him my kid.
Good for that mom. Now that's when the woman took off and the mom called police. The fake social worker eventually turned herself in. Her name was not released, but Santa Ana police are still investigating.
So yeah, folks, you got to be careful. Got to be careful. People showing up, pretending to be official people. You need to be asking for identification. I don't know. It's just sick. What do y'all think? Nobody? Anybody? No?
Well, governors did state that they gonna be at y'all doorstep. She said that maybe a year and a half ago. She said, oh, they getting bold. They coming to y'all doorstep. Y'all need to be prepared. Because the way that they are coming, you will never suspect them to be in the shoes that they are in. How she decided to make this social worker thing work, child, to come and get somebody else's child is actually, that's genius. Because everybody ain't going to really think about that. But it ain't right, you know? So, I mean, y'all got to be mindful on who you're talking to, who you giving your information to that are considered help. Everybody ain't helping. If it ain't seeming right, if your gut is telling you something different, you better listen to it.
I got a different view on it.
What's up?
What's your view?
I have a different hear me because I want to kill the computer and Wi-Fi. I just stab it. See? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Now we can.
Okay. My thing is this. is she a fake social worker, or did she get caught and they had to throw her under the bus?
I was thinking that how did she so my whole thought was like, she's a fake social worker that is genius, but how do they know to do that to make it work? Oh, it must be somebody in the office that helped her do that. So that was my thought process. So how would she get access? How would they be able to conduct something that looked very similar to a social worker process without having some sort of
So you saying she was in a ring and she went to go do it, she got busted, and they just threw her under the bus like, a bitch, you on your own, so sorry. Okay.
But Carbon, don't
You
they
on your
always do that?
own.
That's what they did to the Disneyland workers.
Don't they do that with every celebrity that don't go with what they need them to do? They always try to blackball them.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of ties in like when them fake nurses came up with all them fake certifications, like they wasn't really nurses and stuff like that. That kind of ties into that.
Yeah.
So the question is,
yeah,
how is it so easy to fake this, or why is it so easy to fake this?
Honestly, I feel like this goes back to like that authority thing where we assume based off of the fact that they are in a place of authority, or we're conditioned to believe that they're in a place of authority, so we assume it. Because even in Florida, that's been happening for a while. I remember the hospital here in our city, there was a teenager that snuck in and he played doctor all day. So it's, you assume that this would never happen in these spaces, but really they're faking the funk. If you know the stories that have been told in regards to these associations, or however we want to call them, DCF, Child Protective Services, the trafficking that happens within the midst of that in itself, it doesn't surprise me that she was able to pull it off. She probably got hired after.
I mean, the trafficking, the abuse, like there is so many times kids are taken from parents they shouldn't be, and kids who should be taken are ignored and then ends up unalived. Those systems are just as bad as any other system that we complain about.
Yeah, just so y'all know, people flashing badges, it's the difference between badge and identification. Cops have to be able, if you ask a cop, if they flash a badge at you and you be like, I need to see your identification, they have to show it to you by law. I hope y'all know that. If you ever get pulled over and they don't want to show you their identification, you should call 911 and ask them, is officer so-and-so on a call? Things like that. There are different little things you can kind of do to protect yourself, just in case you didn't know. Especially if somebody's posing as an authority figure and you're fishy about it. If they can't provide you identification, something with their name, where they work, their picture, just saying.
You got this.
Right. Oh, all right, Chaz.
Okay, this was supposed to say 6-year-old violated. I changed it, and I don't know how this happened. But that's not what it's supposed to say. But go ahead, Chaz.
It's all good. It kind of threw me all over. I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna read this, y'all. I've got the disclaimer up. All right, this is a trigger warning, right? So I received a piece of info from cousin Nene, and she sent me something very interesting. I didn't even know anything about it, but this happened in Houston, Texas. Y'all know. It says, I'm not gonna read that because I don't know, but it was saying a parent was notified by the child's school. Yeah, child's school to get to the child's school immediately. It was an issue concerning her 6-year-old child. When the mother arrived at school, she was met by the principal detective, who gave her horrifying news that her child had been molested on the school bus for months. And these assaults were captured on video. In fact, the mother was notified that these assaults started as far as back as September. The child was taken to an area, a hospital, to be treated. The principal of the school never notified the parents of students about what happened involving one of the elementary students, and that multiple agencies are involved in this investigation. Therefore, the principal failed to notify parents properly of what had taken place involving a 6-year-old child and a middle school student on the back of the bus. So panel, what do you guys think about this whole situation?
You
I have
know,
a clip. Yeah.
What do y'all think?
You go ahead, Carver.
I was just gonna say, if you guys wanted to see, I found a clip of it of what she's talking about.
Okay, we can show the clip first.
Video. Make it interesting.
I want to know why they're on the same bus.
Allegations, Maya. Yeah, these allegations are so disturbing, and the mother says she believes it's gone on for several months, but it wasn't until her son lost his backpack last week and she called here at the transportation department to get to the bottom of this missing backpack that everything came out into the open. Latoya Stormy Monroe is devastated. She says she had no idea that her 6-year-old son was being sexually assaulted on the school bus.
I feel like as a parent, I failed my child. It hurts. I didn't protect him. I don't know what to do.
Monroe was joined by community activists today in front of the Aldine bus barn to discuss what they believe happened, that over the past several months, an older child would repeatedly molest and sexually assault Monroe's son on the bus, and that the bus driver didn't notice.
According to the investigator, the bus driver stopped the bus because she thought they were fighting on the back of the bus, but this mother's child was fighting because he was being raped.
Monroe says everything came to light last Tuesday when efforts to track down her son's missing backpack led school officials to look at surveillance video on the bus. Then she got a call.
I get to the school and I find out that my son was sexually assaulted. Days of questioning, days of talking to my child. The details became more and more graphic each and every time.
Since then, her son has been treated at the hospital and they've spoken to investigators. In a statement, the district says in part, an investigation by Aldine ISD police and district officials immediately began on Wednesday, February 1st. CPS was notified. Once the investigation has concluded, appropriate action will be taken based on investigation findings. Meanwhile, Monroe says her son doesn't even fully understand what happened.
He's not really at his age understanding the magnitude. He actually really stated that why couldn't this kid be given a second chance? If God gives second chances, why couldn't the perpetrator?
Monroe says she hopes her speaking out today will get her answers and justice.
I feel like personally, he's not probably the only child that went through that, and those bus drivers do turn a blind eye to so many circumstances like this. And unfortunately, it had to be her son to go through this, and it's very sad. It's very disheartening. But when you think about it, imagine how many other kids that have went through this, and it's been, swept under the rug, so there's not a lawsuit to go with it, because they always want to do something to where it's always, we're going to hide it under the rug, and we don't want the parent to figure out, we don't want the official to figure out. Quatita, you go in.
Come on, Quatita. Let's govern this.
No, I was just going to say, and I know there's a delay, but I was just going to say it comes on the heel of the 14-year-old boy beating up the little 9-year-old genome girl, which says to me, that came on the heels of the children being locked on the bus, jumping out the windows. So this is what it says to me. It says to me, and it's giving me energy released.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's insane. And you're right. That's that damn. And each time it gets deeper and deeper and deeper. So we went from the kids jumping out the bus to the child beating the other child to now a child raping a child. Like it just keeps increasing. Like, whoa, that's crazy. That is insane.
So
Anybody else want to comment?
I'm gonna need to refill my my bottle because I damn near sprayed all of it just a moment ago on them last few lines. I don't get upset with the children because the children are modeling behavior. The children are allowed to sit within this behavior that they're modeling, and things are never corrected. Nobody wants to own their mess as adults. Nobody wants to own that they're just as toxic and have toxic ways that are affecting their children and creating monsters. This is like how we saw when last week we spoke about the story of the mom who was defending her son, and then the son ended up coming back and doing the same thing to her that she was just denying he would ever do to another woman as she was going through her agony. And now your agony is met with hers, and it's 10 to 15 to 100 million times worse. Parents have to start having real conversations with their children. Have to start having real we can't say it enough. We talk a lot about, oh, you know, we're seeing this happen a lot. It's climbing, you know, it's what's going on. Why is this happening? Some of us have children in our home right now that we cannot stand to be in the room with because we raised them up in a manner in which we cannot stand to be in a room with. Some of us aren't pouring the love at that point because you've thrown your hands in the air and now you don't want to take responsibility for the fact that you have begun the creation of a monster. And that is not that child's fault.
And I don't like some of y'all children. So.
Oh.
Makes two of us.
Well, I'm going to just wrap this up. If you have children that are the age of 5, 6, there are ways to have these conversations. This baby should not have been confused or felt at all like they were to blame for getting someone in trouble to the point where they go into the we should forgive because we're taught that these other beings forgive. Even with the being that they believe in, there's a wrath that comes with it. The conversations have to be had. I guess that's all I'm trying to say.
I got one thing to add as well. I was going to say this. As I was reading it, I didn't see the video, but it's like the me seeing it on paper speaks differently than on the video. And I want to say that because there was some details said as me reading than it was on the video. I want to point out this has been happening for months. So when, as a parent, did you not know that something was going on with your child? And you still allowed this to go on. You didn't check on your child. You didn't ask them how it was. And you got them on that bus. And then for the adult to be a bus driver, you turned away. If this was all happening, you didn't even go check to see what was going on. And why didn't no other kids say anything? You know what I'm saying? Something's not making sense here.
Okay. So with that, one of the cousins kind of repeated what the video said. I guess it was seen because they checked the cameras for the backpack, but the bus driver thought they were fighting. Like, there is definitely information missing. So that's what I have to say to that. The other thing was seems to be in this situation, there seems to be a lot of the mother not interacting with the child very much. As much as we may not want to believe that, like we said, this was going on for months. Like, there's no way if he doesn't understand it, then there may have been a time where he should have been talking about it happening as if it was normal. Or there should have been some sort of changes that could become a red flag for you to say, wait, what are you talking about? Wait, what's happening to you? Wait, what are you going through? Whether or not he's aware of the detrimentalness of it, there should have been something to where there was like that's kind of weird. And it just seems like there's no communication, like you said, between him or her and him. As much as we may not want to believe that has to be the case, because Malik is a parent, I'm a parent, Katita's a parent. We if you interact with your children, you understand and you can see when things are happening and are different about them.
Come on, Ivory.
Well, I'm really quick. I'm gonna say this because I agree with Malika and I agree with Charming T. Because as a parent, I was always like at the bus stop. What the fuck is going on? I got to know the children on the bus. I got to know the bus drivers. I didn't like some of the bus drivers, and if I didn't like you, you knew it. I talked crazy. I did not give a shit. My daughter was of age. She was like, I thought it was in the 6th grade, maybe, when the little girls came to my house and told me that every morning there's white semen on the seats of the bus. And I went to the school. I called the bus company first because he would come early in the morning. He would sit on the hill by my house before any of the children came down to get on the bus. My daughter's stop was the first stop. So when they got on the bus, what he was doing was masturbating and ejaculating on the seats to get a kick out of the girls having to sit on those seats. So I called the bus company. I clicked the fuck out mentally on them. Then I went to the school and I lost my fucking mind and they pulled me and drugged me away from the bus because as I was approaching the bus, a little Melanite girl was getting off the bus. You know, this is after school. She didn't got on the bus. Now she's getting back off the bus. As she's exiting the bus, she says, "He is so nasty," talking about the bus driver. I heard that. I clicked the fuck out in that moment. And they were supposed to fire him, but they didn't. They moved him to a different route. That tells you how much they give a fuck about your children. And that was SCPA in Cincinnati.
They just moved him.
They moved him to a different
Anywho,
bus route.
Aubrey, that's insane. That's insane. That's the equivalent of a cop doing something wrong and they just moved the cop. Like, get out of here.
I just wanted to say, as a victim, no, not a victim, as a survivor. See how I did that? As a survivor of molestation, um, there was a part of me that was very afraid to talk to my parents about it because there was no way to approach them about that situation. I did not grow up with a mother or a father that was like, "What you doing? Who at the bus stop?" None of that. That was none of their concern. And the crazy thing about it was the molestation was happening right under their roof, and they had no clue. So a part of me is like, for the mom, if it was happening since September, were you not that type of mom that was able to be approached by their child? Like, we really have to stop. Not every parent does this, but to the parents that are making their children feel as if they are a problem or they're a burden to them, y'all need to give them kids to somebody that's going to be able to raise them right and make them feel like they can be able to come to you about these things. Because as a survivor of this particular type of situation, if you're not comfortable, you're not going to say anything. You're going to grow numb to that feeling until you feel comfortable with speaking to someone who you feel that is going to be able to help you. And I think that in that particular situation, no matter what happened, if the situation has happened since September and you're just not finding out about it in January of 2023, something is wrong. Something is really, really wrong. And coming from my experience, I did not tell my parents because I didn't want to feel like that I was going to get in trouble for it. Why did I feel that I was going to get in trouble for it? Because I had the type of parents to where, you want to wear black today and I told you to wear red? I'm going to beat your ass for it. Sorry. That's just what I dealt with. But in the future, so that we understand that we don't have our children in this type of light, be open, be ready. You already know they're releasing the energies. So you're going to have these difficult conversations about what a peach is to these little girls, how they're able to understand what is going on in between their legs as well as these boys. We got to be open-minded. There is no more a child needs to stay in a child's place because that's all they think about is sex, sex, sex. Well, if sex is what they're promoting, if you're able to give them the correct information and what they're going to learn in human anatomy anyway, then you won't have that problem. Beating people to the punch is never a problem, but always making sure that your child is aware of life and what's going on is going to be able to help you long term. Go ahead. I'm sorry. That's what I would say.
You know what, Aubrey? And Quatita, I know what story we're going into next. So I don't know if you want me to segment right into that. But I just wanted to say that in regards to what you just said, Aubrey, and I appreciate you so much for being so transparent and sharing your truth and sharing your story, the beautiful journey that it is, because you are here and your grandest being with us in the most amazing of energies. Ashe. You may feel, a lot of people, parents will say, you can't talk to your kids about things like that so young. How dare you? Oh my goodness. I don't want nobody else talking to my kids about it so young. However, guess what? Most babies that live in a house with the predator, there's no age limit. So that child that's learning it from the predator, that's been practicing since they were 2, 3, and 4 years old, when somebody creeps into their room and into their bed, is now practicing on your child, or wanting to know what it finally feels like to have the upper hand in the situation, and so then takes it out on your child. So if you don't want to teach them, then go ahead and take the risk of them being taught by a hurt baby. And that's what I wanted to say that with that. It's just a lot. It's a conversation, and it seems like she wasn't even having a conversation, period. And that's the part that's troubling me, because for baby to be talking about, does he really have to get in trouble? That even needs to be, we need to dive into that. Why do you feel like that? What's going on? Why would you think that, the whole forgiveness thing? Okay, however you want to handle that with your children. I'm a little different, but in regards to you doing something, or that child doing something to this baby, and the baby thinking, do they have to get in trouble? Is it because you're scared that they said they'll come and do something to you? Were there threats made? Are there things that you're going to bed thinking about now? What do we have to work through and process? That's all I had wanted to say in regards to that. Now, I know Quatita had the story up in regards to like father, like son. And
yeah, we're trying to take the break real quick, come back and do that, because we also had the 9-year-old girl harassed by the neighbor. So I was trying to put all the children's stories together really quick. So we'll go ahead and take the break, Carbs.
Okay. We'll be right back.
Delay, so.
Right. All right, we back for real this time, y'all. Hey, I was just gonna say just real quick, Malika. I think that whole forgiveness thing on that baby, that sounds like Juicy J programming, moving right along.
I mean, she said it. She said it when she said what she said when she said it. Stick to that. Stick to that.
Hmm. Right.
Yes.
Anywho, like father, like son, child.
Okay, so we have a story, and this name is so deep, like father, like son, and you all. I was like, Quatiter, this name, how you named it this, and it hit me on another level for a story that is so tragic to really dig in and be insightful. But if you know Quatiter, and if you've been to the classes, and if you make sure you stay on top of the classes, you know that this is what she does. She's able to dig a little deeper and take you there with her so that you can find the core levels of what's going on with you. In regards to the story, make sure you get your class tickets. In regards to the story, Eric Johnson, panel, cousins. Eric Johnson, he was 19. He unalived himself. This story is based out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Before he unalived himself, he unalived his brother, who is 16, and his mom, who was 38. According to his friends, his mom was known as the community mom. A lot of them were, one of the young boys said that a lot of them are raised by single moms, and anytime they needed anything, the family always had their doors open. He was a popular kid. He played sports as well. And his friends were explaining that he seemed to not have it all together because you see what happened with this unaliving of his family and unaliving of himself. They said that he was dealing with some turmoil in regards to the unaliving of his 6-year-old sister just a little bit before this occurred. Now, the individual who unalived his baby sister is his father. So you have a family of 5, and you have this situation happening twice within this family of 5. First at the hands of the father, and then at the hands of the son. Like father, like son. Now, I did do some additional searching because when I saw this video initially on social media, I'd always go to the comments and check out what's happening with exactly within months, Evan. I always look and see what's happening in the comments. And they had explained that he actually had charges brought up on him previously. Now, there is a young boy by the name of Sereno Foster. I apologize if I pronounced it wrong. Sereno Foster. Very popular baby. He was accomplished when it came to sports. He actually played sports with Eric Johnson Jr., and he is a junior, by the way. He actually played sports with him, and it was said that Eric was very jealous of the success, allegedly, very jealous of the success of Sereno Foster. And Sereno got a scholarship. Like life on the path. Success. His parents were very proud. He was found with 1 bullet wound. He died in his vehicle, and the police found him, and they never were able to capture the individual that did it. Allegedly, I believe it has been confirmed at this point, the letter that Eric Johnson wrote before doing the unaliving to his family, he admitted to murdering this young man. And a lot of people have been saying for a long time that he was jealous, allegedly, of this boy that he used to play sports with. Now, his mom has been speaking out a lot since this unaliving. She said it's a harder pill to swallow after the murder-suicide last August, where Eric Johnson Sr., father of the 19-year-old murder suspect, allegedly killed his 6-year-old daughter before dying by suicide himself. To hear his whole family was annihilated in less than a year is devastating, and it's heartbreaking because had they arrested him, I feel like a lot of lives would have been spared. And governance, I know you had some tidbits that you wanted to add to this as well.
I just know them, but this is the senior, Eric Sr. He committed because he was jealous about the child's mom and did this in a depression to hurt her because of can you understand what I'm saying? The pathology of it all. of the junior, and it's fucking family pathology. Somewhere some things went wrong, and it's a disgusting kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about here?
And before I knew that
Shago,
the
you're before us, honey. You beating us in our own stories. Give us a minute. We're gonna get there. Go ahead,
um
Carbs.
dang, no problem. Dang, I lost my train of thought. Oh God, somebody else go. I really lost my train of thought. That's horrible.
I wanted to say, in regards to this is a prime example of what we talked about on Sunday at class. Being able and in that mindset, you will bring some stuff into your life and it'll actually be put into somebody else's life. And now everybody is gone because of acts of jealousy, pride, depression, all these negative energies. That if you would have simply tapped in and said something is not right, we need to figure out ways to get things. I'm pretty sure if something was set up to where they were able to understand what was going on with this young man and why he was so disconnected with the whole death of his sister and possibly father, who knows, there could have possibly been some type of prevention to keep him at one at bay, and number two, get him the correct help that he needed. Go ahead, Charmaine.
So my question actually goes back to if it could have been prevented with the dad. Was the dad abusive? Was the dad was there evidence of this potential outcome? But obviously there's no evidence of this potential outcome, but in terms of like violence against the children, like it's a young daughter, a young girl, she's 6 years old, that's a baby, right? We were just talking about them being a baby. And if it's a murder suicide, there's something that's questionable that's went on even in that. So my question goes back to the dad, if that could have been prevented, if there was something that showed that there was abuse and a potential for this extreme of violence with the dad.
I remember what I was gonna say, y'all. Were you done, Charming? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off if you weren't finished.
Nope, I was done.
Okay. Um, before I knew about the whole father-daughter situation, I was gonna say immediately, I feel like the little boy that did the killing and he talking about the neighborhood mom and all that, I feel like that was jealousy partially too. You love everybody else, and especially if that child didn't feel love, you love the neighborhood, you love her, and you don't love me. I could see that definitely playing a part in that decision.
And Evan said that the dad actually was the one to cover for him with the previous case. And that was back in 2020 when that other young boy was unalived. And Charming, to kind of partially answer give some insight, when he unalived his daughter, it was based on a custody battle. So governance, that's absolute validation when it comes to that jealousy and not thinking the other person is enough. And for whatever reason, like I can't wrap my mind around, if I can't have you, no one can with your child. I can't wrap my mind around that. Yeah.
Look, I'm trying to remember 9 year
It's
9-year-old
me.
Melanie Johnson.
You just go ahead. It's all
Oh,
right. I
okay.
got you.
Oh, I put the wrong name on it. I'm
It's okay. I
sorry.
got you, Carbon.
Okay, it's okay. Gratitude.
Okay. This story is about Bobby Wilson. She's a 9-year-old and she's an environmental enthusiast. She was out making a homemade insect repellent. And while she was out there clearing the sidewalks and clearing the trees, it was a genome neighbor that caught her. And I quote, he said to the police when he called, "There's a little black woman out there. She is spraying things on the sidewalks and trees." So the police, of course, come immediately and they noticed it was just a little Melanite girl. And they didn't understand the interpretation, and that could have went all bad. But her story went very mainstream. And Professor, I believe her name is Apara, she saw her from Yale, and she took her in and introduced her to a lot of other Melanite doctors and scientists, to where she let her know, it's okay. You come in here, and she basically let her put her collection that she had and that she was stocking up of lanternflies and donate it into Yale. And now she has her own exhibit in there. So what her thing was basically was while she was in there, because it had a happy ending, don't let anyone hate or come against you. You know, you can always be seen. And she was seen, and not only was she was out there being seen, she was noticed by a lot of other Melanite women to see you're not alone. You can definitely come up in this world. There are always going to be a genome to put you down, but we're going to show you how to uplift you. And I thought that was beautiful that Professor Apara brought her up, and they actually invited her in. And she also, in her community, got like a little plaque and award as well. And I just wanted to bring that enlightenment to you. Go ahead, Carbon.
No, can I add? I just want to add to it. The disgusting part of that story. The person that called was a city official on that little girl.
There we go.
I did not even know that. That's what I was trying to figure out what it was.
Yep. When we were talking about it earlier.
Yeah, we were trying to figure out who he was.
That's it. That's all I want to say. I'm sorry.
Which is so telling, because how could a city official be so empty-minded and so robotic and so reactive to the people in his community? Like,
but you see how they were eager to flock that fast towards her.
But I feel like that he didn't care, though.
He didn't.
I feel like he did not care, and it was all about, oh, she's spraying, she's doing this, she's messing up the community.
Foreign substance that I don't know what it is. Like, just went into like literally turned into a Karen.
A Kyle.
Male version.
Kyle. There we go. There it is.
Yeah. What was his hope, though? Did he hope that somebody got killed?
I
what
believe
was
that
his hope?
was his hope.
He wanted a Melanite woman to get killed. Like, he knew who she was. He had to have.
He knew exactly who she was, but dreams come true, and nothing stood in her way, y'all. Nothing stood in her way.
Right. That negative was turned into a great positive. Absolutely. Oh. Yeah, okay. So do I have it? Who has this? Do you have the actual video, governess? I don't know if I have it. Let me see. I don't think I have it. Wait, I bet it. Where did I put it, y'all? Anyway, there are these young ladies. I guess having some type. Okay. Okay, cool. So let's see what happened at the sleepover with the little genome, shall we? They found this absolutely
I'm sorry. Let me get to it. I do have it. Hold on.
No, I feel you.
And if y'all can hear the other things, Lord, let me press pause on it, because I got to watch this show right now from both angles because of the delay. Here we go.
Right.
It's February! Your mom is never letting anyone in. Nothing but a sleep.
I'm going to play it one more time just in case y'all did not hear it. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm going to play it one more time.
Bring it down just a little bit.
Did she just say that you're nothing but a slave?
And the N word.
Yeah. She said all that.
Yeah. You're
so
nothing
they painted
but a slave. You know they love to say it like that. Nigga.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get off on that. But yeah, they made her hair kinky and painted her our complexion, and yeah.
That was
Junior hires.
That was a tar complexion, and I hope she killed her ass so they can get charged.
I hope that spray paint is permanent.
Bring it down a little bit.
All I'm gonna
Governess, you
say
got to
is I
bring it
bet
down
they
so we can
can't fight
see.
though.
There you go, right there. Y'all see that foolishness? Y'all see that? Look at that. Ridiculous.
Spray her
Aubrey, don't
pitch
get us
black.
hyped on here because they
I'm
can't.
just
I'm going
saying
to
And you
read
know
what
they
it
can't.
because
says. It says, let's talk about the white girls at St. Hubbard's in Franklin Town in Northeast Philly who want to send racist snapshots to my god sister and the other young black girls at the school. Since the school doesn't want to do anything, I decided to blast their faces. This was, they were sending it to people because they thought it was funny because it's Black History Month, because we only get 29 days, sometimes 28. But the school is not doing anything about it. So what should we?
I
It doesn't
mean, that
surprise
don't
me. Oh,
surprise me.
sorry, Carbon.
The school.
Nope. Great minds think alike. Go for it. Go for it.
It's a Catholic school. It's a Catholic school. They just gonna move them to another parish. Is that what they call it? I don't know. They gonna do like they do their preachers, their pastors, whatever they're called in that body of work. They just we're just knocking everything over. They just gonna move them to another section and change their name, give them a new identity. It does not surprise me at all. There are so many things that go on when it comes to these school faith-based schools. I know one of the most, what was considered the richest school here or the high-end school here was where the most drugs were sold. Things will look a certain way and there's a whole nother situation that's happening on the inside when you get up in there. So it does not surprise me. The fact that if I was that young girl's mother or father, I would also beyond with all of that, first of all. But you're spraying a toxic chemical. What are they teaching y'all? Did you take science class? Do you know what that's also doing to your friend or whoever it is? That's not really your friend anyway at the end of the day, and she needs to learn that too. The disrespect of it all on all ends, between their little circle and how they look at it,
No,
and
their
as far as
genomes.
how they. Sorry, go ahead, Quatita. Quatita, you were saying something.
No, I said their genomes, so they're stupid. They have no clue of the level of poisoning that they're doing to themselves. They're stupid. Their genomes.
Listen, when it comes to the blackface, it irritates me to no end because we keep seeing these stories pop up, but then nothing happens. Nothing happens at all. So I'm gonna let them stay over there and do what they doing, as long as one of me wasn't in the room and one of us wasn't hurt or affected directly.
You
I
know
don't want nothing to
why
do with
they
that.
letting it slide, Malika? You know why they letting it slide, Malika? They're letting it slide just because. Let me see if I can pull it up. Give me 2 seconds to see if I can pull this up, y'all. You're gonna see why they letting it slide. Because they think it's great. Hold on.
It's great until we stomp a mud hole into their ass. I'm just saying.
They doing
You know what I'm
exactly
saying?
what they're put here to do. They're doing exactly what they was put here to do.
But
Okay.
Chaz,
Here it is.
sorry.
No, here it is. Can you tell me what you see on this? Tell me what you see.
He's bronze.
He's brown.
Bronze to death. Isn't he blackface like a motherfucker? That's Channing
Yes.
Tatum.
and
That
That
is
The
says
not
bronze
him,
white
Channing
boy
Channing.
that
Tatum.
they so happy to
Yes.
Channing
dancing
Tatum
let
Eminem.
me
is
see
very
that one more
pasty.
time.
He is very pasty in real life. He ain't that damn dark.
Now they done tearing him up.
They think he Brazilian.
He's none of that.
You
He's not even
That's why,
Hispanic.
because they do that. Now,
you know
here's
what,
his
Governor?
other pictures where he was a real white boy.
Right.
See? Pasty. Mm-hmm. Pasty
Everybody
like he
remember when he was doing
like they are.
It's blackface.
So when you ask me, do I know why? I absolutely agree. And I know you've spoken about that on this platform as well. And even the way that they use the vocal tones and the language and all of the things that they've made fun of us for centuries, down to our shapes, the way that our lips are set up, all of these different things. My why as far as that question, the question that you presented, is because they know we'll feed on it. And it's about them once more. That's why I said, I really just, I
Period
don't
I,
care.
period
I don't,
of.
that part. And that's why I put her with a whole bunch of goats in the video that I posted, because now it's entertaining. If you're going to push her down my throat, and I'm going to switch it up because I create content, and I'm going to make it entertaining for me, because you think that this is funny and it's a joke and you think that you can play on it. And the world, including us, keeps clapping you up and making you viral. So I'm going to make it the way that it should look. But I believe at this point, that's the why. I don't even care. They don't want to get them in trouble. I don't want anything to do with the ignorance of it all. And I'm trying my best, because I realize how I get sucked into it. I'm trying my best to separate myself from it, because I realize it creates an energy within me that I carry throughout my day. And then I'm snapping shorter. And then by the next day, I haven't been able to focus on that because I'm trying to do everything I can. And now I'm taking it out on my kids. And I don't even know where it stems from. And it's because they're feeding things out that they know that we will feed on. And it creates this avalanche and this spiral. I can no longer give them the best of me. I refuse to give them the best of me. Now, when it comes to us, here all day. But that was the why that I was thinking of when you said that as well.
You know, this is what genomes remind me of. Y'all remember Mad TV? Y'all remember that show? Y'all remember Stewart? Look what I can do. Woo! That's what them motherfuckers remind me of. They just need attention. Look at me. Look at me. Woo! It don't matter what it is. It don't matter. It's just look at me. Anywho, that's just my thought, my opinion. Moving
It's
along.
look at me.
Damn.
It's look at me. It's hear about me. It's let me tell you about me when your life is not interesting. I don't care about your little Susie. I don't care about your little Bob. I don't care about little Abigail. Okay? That is still bald and she 9 months. Little thin little hair about to come out and she got this little okay? I'm sick of her. Okay, all right? I'm tired of you and your husband. Your husband come home every day from work. He looked like what he looking like, which ain't nothing. Okay? I'm tired. I'm tired of you having an excuse. Genome. All right? Every time you come somewhere, you ain't, well, I just had a bad day. I don't care. I don't care. Okay? But when y'all get on here and you want to be us, you want to get our wigs, y'all have your own wigs. All right? Miss Shirley Sue had hers on last week. All right? It's the one that's real shiny. And they got the little Shirley Temple curls. Y'all know which one. Why are y'all over here in the Malaysian? Why is y'all over here in the Malaysian? You don't need to be over here in the Malaysian. You need to be over here with this little cooler curl over here. Go ahead.
It be flipped up just like this, Ivory. It be flipped up like this on the end.
You ain't
Girl,
lying.
they be looking so hard. You like, listen. All right, sis, with your curls. Curl on, girl.
They had their lips drawn on way up here.
Yeah.
What was you saying, Chaz?
They want to be us so bad.
I said I was going to say one thing before we move on to the next topic.
Go ahead, Chaz.
I was just going to say, like, right now, like, it's the time of just, like, knowing, and I'm learning that as well. Because every time Black History Month comes around, it's always something. It's always something. When y'all gonna start catching on to that? It's always something. So if we let this bother us,
yep.
Like Malika said, they already won. They already. We know they silly. They ain't even smart. Clearly irritating. Ghetto.
Not at all.
Ratchet. All of them.
Ghetto. All of it.
All of it.
Yeah. Very. Very.
Just
always calling us what they are.
Exactly.
Try to steal our greatness.
Exactly.
So if you don't get it by
Mhm.
now and you let that get to y'all, you ain't you stay your ass on over there basically. That's it.
Before we get into this topic right here, let me just say Spirit never misses. Everybody was waiting on, and I have not heard it. This was the first time today that I've heard it, and it was put out. So everybody was waiting on the Nicki Minaj and the Megan Thee Stallion, but the pregnancy announcement came from the Tyre Houghton. Given out by Hollywood Unlocked, Notori Houghton.
Didn't you say they wanted her?
She sure did.
Come through.
And didn't you say once that was announced, it was something was going to be unlocked and unleashed, and something was the beginning of something?
That's
Hold
exactly
on.
what you said.
Wait a minute.
I
Wait.
Now, as
remember.
pregnant as she is, she just announced it.
That was a sneak.
Okay.
No, y'all, did y'all catch it? Signal.
Anyway, I have the quick little video. I won't play both of them, but I'm gonna play one just to show the lies. Here we go. Oh shit.
So what went down? It appears tensions boiled over between the remaining members of Migos, Cardi's husband Offset and his cousin Quavo.
I heard you back here settling some stuff.
The only thing I said was my outfit, honey.
So, lies on top of lies. Lies on top of lies. Let's get into it, y'all, real quick. We won't have to stay on it long.
Well, anytime that Entertainment Tonight catches the tea, it is the tea. Honey, there is no lies. There is nothing besides the truth because, honey, he was right there with that microphone. Could you tell us what happened backstage? Well, damn.
Yeah, somebody sent me the video of them fighting, and you can see Offset like trying to attack Quavo. So, not talking about it's actual footage of the fight.
They thought they could make this one pull off better than, remember when Beyonce and Jay-Z were in the elevator? They figured it would be able to sweep over just like that. But no. It's a lot of footage.
The difference is, look, Jose, the difference is that we saw them actually do it on camera.
Right.
So you can't play the mind after the mind was already deprogrammed. That's the power of spirit. You deprogrammed us so therefore we can be able to see you in your truth, because then you say the spirit of law is that y'all gotta be honest on what y'all doing anyway. So the fact that we already saw it, you can't just sweep it under the rug because too many people are like, nah, y'all are with the shit.
And we see it now. We see how it's playing out. And it's overspilling now. And you have other people like the whatchamacalls, the princes or whatever, from the Empire family. You have them spilling in too. It's like it's just all revealing itself. It's all showing you. It is what it is. The proof is in the fucking pudding. It is right there. Hear no, see no, but we see it all. The fuck.
They telling on themselves. They're telling on themselves.
I'm nosy. I want to know, what was y'all fighting about at the damn Grammys of all places? What? For real? What was you fighting about? What?
Probably who leveled up more than the other one.
It was
a contest.
On the performance. The story is that the Grammy asked that Offset join Quavo on stage for the tribute, and Quavo was blocking Offset from the performance, and that's when everything supposedly and allegedly clashed and a fight happened.
So they was
the fight. It was supposed to at 4.
Okay.
He got on stage.
Gated the whole situation.
Governess, why would she say that they were wrong though? I don't feel okay, listen. I honestly don't feel that Offset is wrong for trying to be supportive. Because if you go back to the Takeoff interview, Takeoff did indicate Offset got a lot going on. He in a marriage. I had a lot going on in my marriage. This is what we expect marriages to do. To me, it seems as though that not Offset, Takeoff really understood what was going on in regards to Cardi and Offset's relationship, which to me sounds as though that these are two men that probably don't connect as often as Quavo and Takeoff were together, but it was a understanding. Prime example, when Governess is working, I don't talk to Governess every day, but I understand that she's working. So from afar, I can love you from afar and not feel as though that the relationship is going to change, because at the end of the day you're doing something for your benefit, for your elevation. I respect that. And if that was the dynamic of their relationship, who are we to sit and try to make it seem as though that there was a problem, that there was a distance, and they were living their own lives organically? That's just my opinion.
But you're
But see,
speaking
that's where Jay Prince tried to come in. Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. It's the delay. It's the delay. No worries. Go for it. Come on.
Okay. Jay Prince tried to come in and use that against Offset. He said, nigga, you wasn't even hanging around this nigga before we offed him. That's really what he wanted to say. Before we off this nigga, you didn't give a fuck, nigga. And shut up before we come off you, is what the fuck he said. Take off, we will off your ass. Shut the fuck up. That's what he said. But he had Offset. So he had a response, and he clicked the fuck out. Offset had a response to Jay Prince, and he said what he said. He said, this is not a game. I'm not playing with none of you niggas or whatever. But I also felt like he kept it at a minimum because he know that family. He knows what they're capable of. Now, you said, why are they both wrong? I believe she said they both wrong because, see, if you saw the clip I showed, there's words at the bottom. And she told him, she was talking to Quavo, I believe. She said, nigga, you always talking shit. And she said, y'all both wrong. And I believe she's saying they both wrong because I think Offset attacked him. I really do. I think he pushed up on him first. So you wrong and you wrong. I don't think they both wrong. I think Quavo wrong. But it is what it is.
Okay, so do you think that Quavo is Jay Prince's new bitch?
I do.
He's the old bitch and the new bitch, probably.
Yeah, I do now. I think he
Because
is.
you know, Drakesha, she in Canada.
She still puts her pussy on lock, though. Because it's always in every album how, they know. No, that pussy's
Who the
on
fuck
lock.
is Drakesha?
Drizziana?
Drakesha?
Drakesha.
Oh. Well, he's allegedly getting ready to be charged. They're looking at trying to charge him for the death of young man. But that goes into the other one. I'll just go ahead and put it up really because I have no idea who the fuck he is and who is he. Unfortunately, Boom Pacino died. Haven't said how he died. We don't even know who he is. I don't know if he is a real person or if he's a synthetic or a clone. I don't know. I don't even. And like it was being covered by mass media news outlets as if he was Takeoff. Like I have no idea who the fuck Boom Pacino is and what he has done. And he was 35. And I'm trying to figure out I don't know.
Well, condolences, because I don't know him either. But all right,
I don't
all
either.
that, yeah, had no clue. But yeah, that's unfortunate to say the
Well,
least. Oh, okay, come on,
I'm
Jose.
All
wondering.
right.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Oh,
you go ahead, Malika, and then I'll pour on in.
No, I was just saying. I'm wondering with the young man that lost his life. He had one of those YouTube. It seems like he was included in one of those YouTube series where it's like the movie, but it's on YouTube. I remember there was one back in the day that like so many people were following and we were all hooked to, but his was Respect Life the series, Boom P Music. And it seems like, I mean, it's a lot of followers, a lot of views, and that's what seems to be most on his Instagram page. So maybe that's where it is. There's a lot of celebrities now that I just don't know. I don't know if it's because I'm getting old or if it's just that it's just oversaturated. But that's all I wanted to say. Gratitude.
Okay, so I'm going to talk to you all about Jackie Shane. She is a transgender woman who is a pioneer of the 60s for R&B soul music. She had crossed over at the age of 78, and her crossover anniversary is coming around. It's February 21st. And basically, in 2017, she was Grammy nominated and everything. And she had a what is it called? A compilation album. It was called Any Other Way. And she basically had made way for a lot of other people in the industry. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, but she had made way for a lot of people in the industry. And she had went missing for about 40 years. And then when she came back up and released that album in 2019, I believe, or 2017, that's when she became renowned. But I just wanted to give her, her accolades. Jackie Shane, you are still remembered, and gratitude for your work. And you go
I
ahead,
did not
Albert.
know that.
Yes, she has a
me either.
song. It's like it's very well known that we all don't even probably remember. It's like knocking at the door or something. Knock at my door. She has a lot of music that I did not know was sampled.
What's her name?
Jackie Shane.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
She's very creative. Very creative. Beautiful voice.
See, Jose, you supposed to be able to sing a chorus of a song. I'm just saying. Let us know. You know
I'm
what I'm
trying to remember it, but I'm like, because how did it go? Knock at my door. I know we all know a little bit of that like song though, because they use it in like rap, and then they try to serenade it into other R&B. She's pretty well known. We just don't know it's her.
And see,
And
when you say knock at my door, all I'm hearing is Monica knocking at my
no, it
door.
says knock at heaven's door.
knock at heaven's door.
Knocking at heaven's door.
Let me see.
Here you go. This is walking the dog. Come on, Jackie.
Hey.
Now this is walking the dog. Come on, Jackie. Now that's walking the dog.
Okay, it's knock on wood. My bad.
Now
The song
this
is knock
popped
on
up
wood.
as hers, but I guess this is a form of it. Wait a minute, that's a damn genome. Hold on.
Yeah, the song is knock on wood. My bad, y'all.
Yeah, it says knocking on heaven's door, Jackie Shane.
Oh, see, it might be that. Yes, that.
That's Jackie Shane.
I did not know that was her.
Get the fuck out of here.
When I configured this was Jackie Shane, I've known this song all my life.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Knock.
So Uncle redid it. So she redid it. I didn't know that was a remake. Wow.
This song is always on somebody's movie.
Yeah, I thought what's her face? Thelma. I thought Thelma originally did this. I didn't know it was her.
Yeah, it says Jackie Shane live, knock on wood.
Wow.
She's got
Yes.
high heel sneakers. Can I say something about these classics?
You
There
better not.
was a time when a lot of these classic beings that were the start of certain music or lanes of music for us Melanite women in the industry, they were visiting me on the regular, and I got a lot of records. But there is something that I noticed about a lot of them, that these girls like girls.
Yes. Jackie
And
Shane,
they
she likes
carry a
women too.
and they used to always have their lady around, and then they would have they men, or they would. I'm noticing this about so many of them, because even
Nina
Bessie Smith, when I found
Simone.
out Bessie Smith's story, Nina Simone, look at Whitney, right? We heard about that in the reading. And then even, ancestor, please do not take this out on me that I am not recalling your name at this moment, but they made a special on Netflix about her, and it was the most amazing special ever, when she sent the Genome to go get her a Coca-Cola, and she was giving them a hard time in the studio. She's like the mother of music.
Billie Holiday.
Aubrey, no, it wasn't Billy.
No?
It wasn't Billy. Aubrey,
Viola Davis played her character.
Yes.
Ma
Why would
Rainey.
I not?
Ma Rainey. Ma Rainey.
Yes, Ma Rainey. And Ma Rainey is who Bessie Smith looked up to. Gratitude. Cartina, come through with the delay. She's so smooth with it too. But a lot of these women, all of them have that same. I just found that interesting. I wanted to mention it, but I'm shocked at the song. Gratitude.
No, Cortina, not Cortina, Malika, she said,
Garrett,
go get me
aunt, that's your
Coca-Cola.
aunt. That's your auntie.
Y'all are
Your
silly.
little auntie, child. That's your aunt. That ain't never they lover. That's always they aunt.
Right.
But I do love Jackie because she was honest about, loving her girlfriends, and I love that about her when she was singing about them. She was very vocal.
I did have an Aunt Jean and Aunt Joy growing up. Interesting. I'm sorry.
This back when, because it did. And it did.
Screaming. That's funny as fuck. Yeah, we ain't gonna even talk about this shit long. Let me show y'all.
I wasn't ready for
her. Here is the shoe. Now I'm gonna show y'all the shoe that Jose gave us too. 2,000 years old. Says it has an earthling magnetic pull on it, but I'm just trying to figure out one, how they kept that shoe in such good shape like that. I was trying to figure that part out, but Jose always comes through. Jose, I'm just saying that they find it in the Korean hair supply. Is that what we're talking about? Knock it the fuck off, people. Knock it the fuck off. Knock it off.
The chancla.
Let's roll off this one too. We ain't gonna stay on none of these long, y'all. Y'all know my stories ain't got to stay on long. I don't give a shit.
Girl, everybody had them slippers.
I know.
Orange, lime green.
In Cali, we call them ripper slippers. I don't know what you guys call them, but we call them ripper slippers.
Girl, house shoes.
Malika, you said your Latin people had them.
The Latins,
yeah. They used to have them at shoe. They had them at Shoeland, and they would have all the boxes lined up against the window so you could see. And then they had like the rainbow ones. They got real fancy, kind of like the jellies. You remember when the jellies were in? These little mesh things. They would take them off and throw them at you with the quickness. Yeah,
They was everywhere in every corner store here in Cali in the Bay Area. We wore them with every outfit, and it was ridiculous.
That's too
fashion.
Oh, y'all. Okay. Tim, this is the Tim story. Okay.
Yeah.
Andre Montgomery lured
Andre Montgomery. Yeah. He was lured to his death by a female. Now, we spoke about this in the meeting because I seen it, but I don't really know much about it. And me and Malika was talking about Tim's birthing hips and how he has set some things into place. And so Malika has a lot more information about this. And we said, is it an insurance scam? Or I say, could it be a sacrifice? Because it's happened twice. It's not once. Malika?
So, if I don't know if you all know the show Sweetie Pies, but Tim is from the show. Sage, stop it. Tim is from the show Sweetie Pies. Sorry, it's the puppies, y'all. Y'all didn't see me throw my cat. Lola was up here. Y'all didn't see her trying to. Anyway, Tim from Sweetie Pies. His mom, very popular. Somebody give me his mom's name, please, because everything is floating out.
Robbie.
Miss Robbie.
Robbie, gratitude. Miss Robbie. They own these restaurants. The food look good. The TV show make you want to get in your car and ride there ASAP so you can get a plate and maybe a few more boxes to warm up on the next day. She was popping. I believe she was even on the lady show who has a husband but really has a girlfriend named Gail, and they, she was on her show also. Don't let that one go over your head. I'm gonna take life seriously. I'm gonna take life. Yes, she used to be a very popular singer. So Tim is on this show. You get to see the ups and downs, the fallouts with his wife. You get to see his birthing hips. I'm not gonna make the joke I made earlier. And they have these nephews that come on to the show. They have these nephews that come onto the show. There's one that's kind of nerdy. I don't know if you all remember. And then there's another who's kind of heavy set. He looked like he may play football. So that is the nephew that we're speaking of. Now, Miss Robbie was robbed. I stopped watching because I got sick of Tim, because there was just something, his energy was off. I wasn't enjoying it. It was all about him now, and it was just too much. So what ends up happening is Robbie gets robbed. Everybody's looking at everybody about who did it. She knows who has the code, blah, 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 blah. Andre, the nephew, leaves, goes out of town. Everyone's taking lie detector tests. Can I have one? Is that what you're saying? I don't know. Is this the delay? Can I? Y'all don't be sharing snacks while I'm trying to talk. You know I'm greedy. I'm going to say something. Okay. So Miss Robbie gets robbed. Andre leaves. She calls him and tells him, you need to come back to town. Allegedly, according to some sources I had read in the past, I'm trying to recollect appropriately or properly. He said that he was scared to come back home. This is where the situation gets serious now. He said that he was scared to come back home. He explained to her that he didn't feel safe coming back there. He didn't want to. She pressured him, and so he decided he was going to come back home to appease his grandmother and get this lie detector test done. When he does come back to town, Tim lines up with this girl that dances that he's had little tryst with. I'm not sure if it was while he was with his lady as well when they was having that baby on the show or what was going on. And this is the young girl that Quatita is speaking of that calls him when he gets into town, is texting him and wants to link up with him. When they link up, he is unalived. He is unalived, which is very unfortunate. I loved him on the show. He was a really good kid. He was a highlight of the show. Kids gonna get into what they get into. But this is once again, because when you see the beginning of the show, Tim had just gotten out. He had a long stint behind bars.
At the age of 17.
And he was absolutely, he was given a lot of access to a lot of different things, and the highlight and the money coming in quick. He was handling things like a real criminal on the show. Yeah, he was handling things like a real criminal on the show.
Is this a new season?
No.
Running because they closed all the locations.
The show is canceled.
Yeah, the show is done. I was fortunate enough to eat it. They had it out in LA, and I was fortunate to eat there twice. It was actually really good. But yeah, no,
it was good, wasn't it? I knew it was good.
I went to the one in St. Louis, the location in St. Louis.
Hoping
Nikki said the food wasn't good.
Well,
maybe you went on an off day. I enjoyed myself, but I am fat, so you know.
So someone in the chat did say something that I agree with. Robbie defending her. Whoa! What did y'all see that, or did it
What the
just
heck
break out
just
on my
happened?
screen?
Oh shit!
No,
We're
I
playing
saw
musical
that.
chairs.
I don't know what the hell.
That was really weird.
Anyway,
Yeah, that
hey,
Well,
was.
Malika.
everybody is old. It is old, but like the Shade Room or Hollywood Unlocked just reported on Andre Montgomery. So some of this is old, but they're just reporting on Andre's passing or murder right now. So that's why we're bringing it up.
Yes, and it
That
is
was
really
crazy,
strange to
Malika.
me. I'm telling you, it is really strange to me that Robbie is in such defense of Tim, and he could be just as easily the individual who robbed her. I didn't dig deep into the details that came up today, so I'm just going over the details that I remember. But he did have insurance policies out on his relatives, and some say that Miss Robbie was also in line to be unalived by him for the baby, to be unalived by him for the insurance. So allegedly.
See, Tim was blaming Andre. Andre's blaming Tim as far as the robbing of the house, and everybody in St. Louis says it was Tim. And I'll leave that at that.
I was gonna say the same, Carbon. They all are saying it's Tim, and all of it is coming back to it being Tim. But he's always had that shady, shisty kind of personality while being in this whole family business. Even when she tried to like extend it out and let him govern over like the two locations, because it was upper crust and then it was the other location, and then they started doing the other locations in several other places. I think it was a sacrifice, because I think wasn't one of Robbie's sons dead, like deceased? For me,
Many
I
years
feel like,
ago.
yeah, I feel like it could be a lot of owing down in
You
a
know what
sense.
it's giving though, Jose? Now that you say that, you know what you reminded me of, Jose, when you said that? It
What was it?
reminds me of the lady we talked about last week who kept giving her son passes from molesting them children until he beat and raped her.
Yes.
Yep.
That's what it reminds me of, for sure.
Yep.
And I want to say that Tim has church arms and birthing hips. Tim is built like Miss Margaret, the first church mother. That's all I want to
And B
say.
cups.
We gotta take a break.
And don't forget the B cups. At least B cups. I'm just saying. Let's go ahead and take our last set of commercials, governess. We're gonna be right back after our sponsors, y'all. He got B.
Powerful, captivating, indulgent, riveting. You hear the rumble of the earth. High councils, affirmation, oracle, and tarot deck. Available.
All right. Hey.
Aubrey is so funny.
Aubrey's hilarious.
You saw me on the commercial break. You saw me.
Wait, you can see us
Indeed.
on the.
Sometimes
You can see us on the commercial break.
Yeah, I can see y'all.
Yeah. That's why I be coming down.
Girl.
No, y'all missed my whole on that first song. I was getting it. Y'all missed all of that. Okay, I'm sorry. Community poll. Oh, okay.
Okay. Let's do Tyree's poll first. Let's do his poll first.
Okay. Okay. Who was this? Who was this again for the Tyree?
Okay.
This was basically
So
about Tyre.
the poll for Tyre was, remember I said that someone sent me information saying that Tyre Nichols was actually a jigaboo and he would make posts about Black women saying he didn't really care for Black women. And Charming says she thinks they're trying to spin the narrative. So is he committee, do y'all think, in panel? First poll. You can put your hands up, whichever one. You can put a 1 up or you can put it down, however you want to do it. Is Tyre Nichols being spent as a jigaboo, or did he really not like, black women? Go ahead, Charming.
So my opinion is a little bit layered because I haven't seen this about him or what he said about Black women. I haven't seen that with my own 2 eyeballs, but we're going to get real simple. He hung out with, I don't know how he knows Tony Hawk, but Tony Hawk is doing something that's dedicated to him. And I guess I'm going to stereotype him and say if he was a skateboarder, he probably did like white girls. But I find it very interesting that this narrative came out, and we never actually verified if it was a white woman that was supposed to be the cops who was in the middle of it all. That was just me saying that. But I don't know. I think it's very interesting and convenient that we just bring this narrative is up again when it happens to be against 4 Black cops against another Melanite man. This seems like it's a very convenient narrative to use to not honor someone who was abused by the police force, regardless of whether the police force was Melanite. Because we always say, well, it doesn't matter really what they did in the past. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the fact that the justice wasn't brought upon correctly. We're talking about the fact that the cops are overstepping their boundaries. So I think it's really interesting that we're using that and completely ignoring that it's still cops. It's still the police officers against one of us. And they're going to always place the narrative of the cops above us, regardless of who they are. So, yes.
I'm going to go ahead and say, I'm going to spin the narrative and throw a wild card. I agree that it's both. He is a jigaboo, but as well as spinning the narrative because we're losing touch on what's really going on. Yes, you are a jigaboo, but at the same token, they're trying to defer what's really going on here. And that is my take on it.
Yes.
And the wild card that is you're a spigaboo. We're spinning the narrative and you're a jigaboo. Carmen, you go ahead.
No, I absolutely agree with you. Honestly, I do. I don't know if you guys know the update panel and committee, but come to find out, first of all, one of the cops was the cop. Okay, one of the cops' girlfriends was dating Nichols, the one that was murdered, and come to find out that the cop was had taken pictures. It's out. That's what That's what the stop was all about. Some revenge shit. And so after everything was said and done or whatever, he took pictures and sent those pictures to 5 different people, and one of those people was the ex-girlfriend or the ex-wife. So yeah, I see what you're saying, Jose. I think it could possibly be both aspects for sure. Malika.
So wait, Carbon, is the pictures of the girl, or is what's the pictures of?
So the picture is of you. Somebody got a like on the video footage. They took a still frame of the cop taking a picture of Nichols in his car, of the whole situation, like him all jacked up after they beat him. I guess wherever they beat him in the car, and then before they took him out the car, there's pictures of him being beat in the car. So it's a still shot of the cop taking a picture. You feel what I'm saying? From the actual video footage that was rachel. Yeah.
I mean, fathers are going to say anything to spare the memory of a child anyways. So there's a lot to that. Like they literally just pulled him over and abused him. There was, if you're watching it, it has no other reasoning that this was personal. But of course, I did not the video because I refused to put any energy into it. So it looks like the consensus of the committee says, did y'all want to be in on the panel at the bottom? Malika, Aubrey, Chaz? The committee looks like they're saying that they think they're spinning the narrative, but people.
I definitely. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Chad.
Oh, go ahead. You fine.
Go ahead, Chaz. Come on, mama.
I was gonna say both, and only due to the fact that it seemed like the story keeps changing. It's inconsistency. It's one thing after another that has nothing, that really doesn't over trump what Troy was saying, that it's the fact that it was y'all against him. He was by himself. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely, if we're gonna put, it's both, but to top it off, it's spinning the narrative, point blank period. That's what that is.
I think it's definitely a spin of the narrative. Those police officers did not give a damn about what he tweeted about whoever. And at the end of the day, I posted about this in my story right after I had found out about Tyre Nichols. My son got pulled over in Tampa, and I am in full gratitude because he just got his license when we were in Atlanta. He didn't really need it. So I'm in full gratitude. It's his first experience with a police officer, and the police officer asked him why he was there in the space that we were in, which when we pulled up, we were like, oh, are we included here? And the officer asked him, he said, I just did my first show. And the officer said, I'll be back. He went to the car, came back, and then said, I would love for you to play some of your music for me. Congratulations on your first show. And he let him go. My son's last name is Nichols. I was lucky. I have to live with the experience of knowing that I'm lucky that the right one pulled him over, which a lot of individuals do not have to live with that experience whatsoever. They're trying to distract from the focus at hand, where the focus should be. I don't know if it's us. I don't know if it's them. I've seen this happen with other individuals where, can you all hear me? Where they, sorry, it's glitching. Yeah, where they will be murdered or something will happen and people will say, well, he had these things to say about us, so ease up, sis, but we'll tell the story still and get views for it. I'm not sure. Don't be distracted by the foolishness. They did not care when they pulled him over, and they won't care about yours either, and that's what you focus on. We have to fight because that's a reflection of your child in their eyes. Do not get distracted. Don't do that, and don't play into their games. That's all I had to say.
Can I add one more thing?
Yeah,
I feel
absolutely.
like okay. Nobody wants to think deeper and like have the conversation, which that's why I like that we do this, because we actually have the conversation. We talk about all of our opinions and what needs to be discussed to like be able to pick through these things. The whole telling the story and saying, well, he did this, so that's a TikTok thing. Like let's discuss it. Like let's be honest and say, if he did this, that is a discussion we need to have, even though it's not gonna do anything because he's gone already. And we can acknowledge that. But the biggest grand scheme of it is that he's gone because cops abused him and killed him, not for any other reason. Like nobody wants to say, like, people just want to just say their opinion and echo everybody else. Like it's just a big echo chamber of well, whatever. He died. How are we saying, well, he died because he did this? And it's like, that's their personal beef. People cheat all the time. People do this all the time or whatever, About the Black women thing, that is so taboo.
They still had no right.
Right. But in the grand scheme of it all, the cops killed another Melanite man.
Yeah. That would go for the genome that stabbed her boyfriend, and everybody was like, well, he didn't like Black women, but the genome bitch still had no right.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
She still had no right.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Quatita, that this is what they wanted. What they wanted was for everybody to question, oh, what did this other Melanite do for
What did he
them
do?
to kill him? Because if it was my wife, if it was my husband, I'll do the same thing. And see, we as a culture are already programmed.
Trying to take
Yes.
the badges off of them.
We're already programmed to not like each other about things like this instead of having the conversation, because conversation is not existing in our households.
Yes.
So the fact that they said, okay, we got to flip this because we already know with the BLM that deals with race. We can't do another one of those because that really took us out. So we're going to have to flip it around and put it on color on color. And we really gonna make it difficult for y'all because now y'all like, okay, should we be mad at these people? Or what did he do? Because he was in Memphis. Y'all know they got bad crime. Like everything that they did was to really take you off of the fact that, like Charmin said, these are police officers who felt that their badge was holier than thou and took someone's life because you are an insecure male in a fucked up toxic ass relationship that you don't know how to get yourself out of. So when someone else came and showed your woman the type of love and affection that she deserved, whether it was through a marriage or girlfriend or whatever it is, that's your fuck up. You should be a man
Yeah.
and be like, okay, well, she's welcome. It's a free country. People can do whatever they want to do when it comes to dating, but don't nobody deserve to be unalived because of you and your insecurities. Done with this.
Come on, Malika.
Okay, so I have the video up for the birthday event, but I just had a thought. Do you think that these different things about him, because there's so many, I don't think I've seen so many stories spun about someone that's been in this situation, and I will say justice for Tyre Nichols. Do you think that it's that our community may be so confused in regards to the color of these officers based on the fact that they aren't aware of the Genite population that is willing to engage in the same behaviors, that they have to find a reason for it outside of what the other officers? I don't know. I was just thinking. Okay, so this is the other poll. I need the chat to put a 1 in the chat if you think this is a fake video, or put a 2 in the chat if you think that this is real. Okay, so let me just turn this up because I had. Okay.
I didn't want to censor. I don't like electric cars. Wait, what? For Mercedes-Benz, I don't like Tesla. You said you like the electric cars. I said I like Tesla. I said a Mercedes-Benz. I don't like Tesla. Well, you gotta like, this is better than a Mercedes-Benz. Nah, but I don't want no car that if I gotta charge it for it to work. I didn't want that. Girl, you need to be grateful that you got a damn car. I could have just been walking it. I would rather walk it. Why? You should be happy. Put the keys back in your purse. Oh, and I will. And don't ask me for nothing else. Oh, you're going to be happy with that money. How much is it? Girl, open it up and stop being ungrateful, because now you're starting to be ungrateful when you ain't got to worry about me ever again. I said I wanted a Tesla. I always told you I wanted a pink Mercedes-Benz. Okay, well, I couldn't get the Mercedes-Benz, so you got that. You gave me for my Sweet 16 and my Golden. Girl, do you know how much money that is? That's $1,600 for I didn't want a Tesla. I don't like electric cars. Wait, what? Mercedes-Benz. I don't like Tesla.
So she proceeds
I
to
think
like
it's
rip the
real.
balloon off the car and throw it and all of this extra stuff. So
See, we think
number
just
1
because
for
they
fake, 2 for real. Sorry, Carbon. Go ahead. No, go
no,
ahead.
no, 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 no. I was gonna say see, first of all, I thought it was a genome y'all was talking about in the beginning, and then once I realized it was melanite, no, they raised that girl to be like that. I believe it's absolutely real. That's just
And I
me.
was going to add on to that. There's a follow-up video,
Yes, they
Carbon, that
did.
showed.
Yes, they did. I believe it's real.
It's
Wait,
real.
1 is real, 2 is not.
Yeah, 1 is real,
1
2 is
is
not.
real, 2 is not real.
And I was gonna say it is a follow-up video to prove that that is very, very valid. That is very, very valid. But it goes to show also, let's throw this in there. Quatita was just telling us that sometimes the children run the household. If that's not a pure example to show you how the child runs the household, if you see the follow-up video, you will see she runs her fucking mom. She runs the household. You think it's fake until you see the second video. She gets her that car. She gets her the car and she takes her to get the Mercedes that she wants. Although it's not pink, she tells her she works, she's gonna just pay for the paint, but she still got her the dream car she wanted. It's real. It's very real because a lot of people let their children run all amok on their fucking asses. It's real.
Y'all create these monsters and then want sympathy because then they turn
way
on
they're
your ass.
talking just seems like absolutely. To me, it just seems like the way she's talking, the way the mom talks, it seemed like it was real to me. Like, girl, you ought to be grateful. Like, no. And she thought she was going to be extremely happy because it was a Tesla. Like a fucking Tesla.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's a real video watching. This is my first
Okay, so regardless of whether it's real or fake, I'm not mad at her because Teslas are not good cars. So that's another topic for another type of situation. But Teslas are not even good cars. So
real talk.
They were on the docket.
They and still are on the docket. But it's very much real, unfortunately.
I guess I feel like it's just sound. It seems scripted. Like I feel like the daughter was really into it. Like let's just say it was a script, right? I feel like the daughter was really into it, and the mom kept forgetting. Like one of the even cousins had a similar sentiment. The mom kept forgetting what to say.
Well,
I don't
she
know.
blindfolded her if you see the full video, and she didn't just walk her out. There's more.
I mean, listen, the whole thing could be scripted from the blindfolding to the going to get the new car could be scripted.
So I have a friend, and I just went back to the original post, and my friend is in the comments, and so I do believe it's real. My friend says he personally knows them, and this is her all day.
See? See?
Did y'all
Look at
see
that.
the brother get irritated though?
He was irritated because
he
she's
was.
He said
it's just
grateful.
Yeah.
Some of us didn't have a car.
I don't like children like her.
Okay, here's my okay, Quatita. That's perfect. Here's my other devil's advocate. What if it's okay to see spoiled black Melanin children every once in a while? No. Why? No. Let's unpack it. Why is it not okay to see Melanin children that are vocal about the things they want, and if their parents have the means to get it and are okay with getting it for them, why is that not okay?
Not in that matter.
It's the disrespect
because
of
they
it all.
become.
I get that.
Exactly.
Those children.
I'm devil's advocating. It's okay.
No, wait. Let me press pause.
Governess.
Those children become the young lady whose boyfriend, older gentleman boyfriend, took her out for her birthday. And she turned up in front of his family because it wasn't good enough and threw cake and all kind of shit. Those become those people.
I think I know which video you're talking. Is it the really short girl and the really tall dude? Is it those videos? Yeah. I thought them was scripted too.
No, there's people out there really like that.
I don't have I originally thought it was scripted, so I don't agree with children acting in that manner, but in terms of a non-emotional perspective, we see genome children get spoiled all the time.
Well, honestly, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And I get where you're coming from, but you need to have an attitude of gratitude. I'm not talking
like that, so
some whole thank you, master, nothing like that. But I mean, that's unacceptable. Unacceptable. Anywho, this is a great show, everybody. Real quick, right before we get out of here, I am looking for an artist, somebody that can draw things to scale. I have a project that I'm putting together, and I need some help, you guys. Reach out on Instagram at carbon Martian. Okay, love you all. We've had a great show, and until next time, don't trust no G night and don't trust no genome. Okay, love y'all.
Love y'all.
Peace.